I know where we can go. I know where we can go. And it's all you and me. We'll kiss the sky goodnight. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again.
Hello! And in this build, I'm building a bus/train sort of station. So this is based off one in Australia, and it's called the Warwick Rail Station in Perth. And as you can see, I'm using this building on the top here. I believe it's from Toronto. But the only problem is the top building. It conforms to the terrain. So as you can see, I'm moving these roads around, just trying to get it to look level. But I find that the rails that I stick underneath affect it and drag it down. But as you know, I have changed the top building to something else, because you saw in the cinematics. But this building more closely represents the one in Warwick, so that's why I wanted to use it. So it's a bit of a shame it didn't work. And it's all because the building conforms to the terrain, which is a bit of a weird decision by the person who made it. I guess they wanted it to conform because then it would be better on slopes, but buildings don't normally conform to the terrain in that way that it's doing at the moment. But oh well. I was going to end up changing the roof design and stuff because the textures are not amazing. They're okay, but they're not great. So I was going to end up using ploppable asphalt on top of the roof to change the texture of the roof. But like I said, I change it. And I change it to a monorail station that's just recently come out in the workshop. Here is the monorail station now. I simply delete the middle bit and then place two of them, one after the other, and there is a gap left in the middle. So what I end up doing is putting a road down the middle. Now on the rail station in Warwick, there's no road in the middle, because it is literally just that's the station, the part where you go down into the underground, well not even underground, just the lower levels of the train station, because the top is a bus station and the building houses shops and I guess ticket facilities and elevators and escalators down to the bottom. So as you can see, there's the middle road running through the middle of the station, and it actually works very nicely. It fits in with the station, because I'm imagining that buses will stop on the either side of the road and passengers will get on, and it's the right height. So here's the pedestrian pass that gets from the car parks to the station itself. Now what I was thinking is I should have added a door onto the building, because it looks a bit strange that there's no door, and I could have used the jet bridge doors like things to add a door. But the only problem is I was having like a lot of problems with this save as I was building this. I had several occasions where the simulation slowed down without me doing anything. Like, I would be playing, I would pause the game and then I would resume the game, and the simulation would be running like 1/10 the speed without me changing it with the speed slider mod. I think that may be a problem with the speed slider mod. I haven't tried it because it stopped after a while, but then I had a power cut and my computer switched off because I had a power cut, and I lost some of the build, and then when I reloaded the save, Find It wasn't working, so I basically couldn't really do any like searching for things, because I've got far too many assets to go search through my entire list in the menus and find the stuff I want, which was a bit of a shame. I'm hoping Find It is like working now. I'm loading up another collection to see if it works, but fingers crossed it does, otherwise I'm in trouble because I can't play the game without Find It now. So this build ends before I do any of the foliage. I'm sorry, I couldn't record it because obviously I had a power cut and I lost that, so I basically just rebuilt it really quick without recording it. I didn't even think about turning the recording on, I just built it, and then after a bit I realised I wasn't recording, which is a bit annoying. So as you can see here, I am adding these concrete planters to the side, because this elevated section technically isn't elevated. It's only elevated because there is a train track running underneath, and I'm using the Noguchi effect and building my own bridge, because buses can't stop on like raised platforms, so you must they must be technically on the ground, but since I'm using the Noguchi effect where you put a road underneath it and it makes it into an elevated sort of bridge section where you just got to design your own barriers on the side. But I end up changing these because I didn't like the texture and I didn't like the dirt. But like again, I didn't record me changing them because I lost the recording and then I built it really quick. But they're basically the same planters as these, but they have a grass texture on top, and they're made of like a more cementy material. They're more a light colour. So this is a new idea that Arnold Rimmer has come up with. I've seen he's been posting it on Twitter and on the Discord, but I believe he got the idea from Noguchi as well. So it's using these walls that are in the vanilla game, and then using like roads and blah 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 asphalt and stuff to just connect it together. So as you can see here, I'm moving a road here to get it to be the same height and to remove the gap. And this is really like an amazing idea. I can't believe I never thought about doing this before, because you can add curved retaining walls to areas. It's such a good idea. If only we could change the texture on the this wall. I think it's the castle wall. I believe that's what it's called. If only we could change the texture, that would be amazing. The texture isn't bad, but it does look a bit vanilla-y. It's not really a word, but I think you know what I mean. So we get onto the part of the build where I'm trying to work out the basic layout, the way the buses enter and the way people get into the car park. And I try and copy Warwick Station's car park as closely as I can, because it is a very interesting layout to the way it works. Like the way that the roads cross each other and are just intersecting is strange, and I use a lot of King Leno's new cement props. They're really good. They are great for this sort of thing. And they're great for car parks as well, and they're just so nice. I wish I had them when I was building Eagle Springs. So I haven't done that in a while. I just haven't had the inspiration to do it. So the only problem is when I'm going to go back to it, I'm going to want to change a ton of stuff. So I'm going to see whenever I reload that save what I want to change, and there may be an episode like called Changes where I just change a massive amount of stuff. But we'll see. I mean, there are also like mulch planters which more closely fit what is there in real life in Eagle Springs, but let's not talk about that because that's not to do with this build. So here I am trying to place some diagonal parking. The only problem is this diagonal parking is the wrong way round. The cars would have a big difficulty trying to enter. So what I end up doing is making my own diagonal parking, and I use the 1x1 parkings by Decasa, and then just use Move It to copy and paste them and move them around and make them work in the area. I also have remembered that Move It stopped working as well with this save, which is very strange as well. I've never had a problem where Move It stopped working. It wouldn't allow me to copy things. It was very strange. It worked after a reload, but that was another issue that set this build back, and it was very annoying. So I'm just finishing off the car parking spaces, just making them finished rectangles because they look a bit weird when they're open like this. So here I am using King Leno's cement curb props. So I wanted to make the entire part up to the wall like cement, but I couldn't because these conform to the terrain, which is nice that they conform, but is an issue when you've got different levels and when you've got like hidden areas that sink down. Maybe if it would be nice if we could have one that isn't affected by the terrain and it is literally just a solid prop. But I'm sure King Leno, he's a busy man. He doesn't want to just do things that a small percentage of the Skylines community wants. But they are great. They're amazing. The only problem is with them is they tend to clip with each other, but that's just silly Skylines. And just like the Z fighting, it's a bit annoying, but you just have to deal with it. And if there is excessive clipping, you just have to move the props around to get them to work correctly. So I was left with this big area here, just with nothing in it, and I ended up putting a bus stop here, just where buses are left over. They can park here to have on their lunch break and stuff. That's what that area ends up being. You did see there I was having the problem with Move It, where I couldn't actually copy that curve that I had placed. But I just simply selected it and dragged it over there. But it was annoying because I do like to copy the things that I place in different places just so I've got a spare in case I need to replace it. But oh well. I finished this build, which is all that matters. So right now I'm trying to work out how to do the bus stops on this side of the road and to create the intersection. I'm obviously looking at the Google Maps view, trying to work out a closer representation as I can to in real life, what I can in game. There are obviously differences, but it actually worked out like fairly close to real life with the way that the roads are laid out and the bus only lanes and the car only lanes. It worked out very nicely. So the one on the road on the right is to enter the car park, and the one on the left is for buses only, to go into the bus station and to go onto the raised sort of platform area where you can catch the bus or the train. So like I said, I didn't record the foliage. I'm so sorry about that. I will, next time I do a build, I will make sure I record the foliage and record it all. It's just I had big problems with power cuts and my game not working and stuff like that. I'm so sorry. But I'll leave you with the rest of the build, and at the end there is a couple more cinematics just showing off the finished project. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.